now that we tweak the geometry a little bit, just one more thing. Because if you tweak the geometry, I mean, it's nice that you creating stuff with cube and everything, but what if I want to add more lines? You can tweak the lines, your edges here, but what if I want more lines in this area, for example? Well, there's a shortcut for it. If you want to add an edge loop, if you press Ctrl R, you're going to see this highlight around the cube. So if you move it around, you'll see you can do it in certain areas and stuff. Let's do it here. If you left click, you'll find this, the cursor changed to this icon, and now it slides alongside the edges. So if you click again, now you can have it here. Or let's say if I want to have the edge loop exactly in the middle, I press left click and then escape. Now you can scale it, I don't know, move it around and stuff. Also, if you want to add more edge loops, of course, you can do it like so, double left click, like that, or press Ctrl R, move the mouse wheel, and then you can add a lot more. Let's say I want to add 12. You can just hover here, highlight, and then, I don't know, like just write 1, 2, so 12, and then click, and then that's it. I have 12 edge loops. Okay, let's say I want to select one of them, and then I want to tweak scaling of it. Of course, I can just select with Shift left click, Shift left click, Shift left click, and then I can select everything. Or I can just press Alt and select the whole loop and then scale up. And it goes the same for the polygons. So if I want to select this whole loop of polygons, I can just press Alt, and then between those two polygons, I press left click. Now I can just tweak it like that. So yeah, you can just move it, scale it up, this down maybe, I don't know, up. You add another edge loop and scale it up. So you can do a lot. That was our cube, and now it's not a cube anymore. That's how you tweak geometry, with adding edge loops and stuff. Now, since we have all the shortcuts, let's just create something simple and maybe learn a few more shortcuts along the way. So we added the cube again. Let's do something really simple. So let's do a robot, like a really simple rough robot. For the robot, we want to extrude some geometry. For example, if this is the robot, like the robot chest, so this is going to be the main part of the body. If I want to make a neck for the robot, just press E for extrude. This is not going to be cube anymore. It's going to be our robot. So list here, double click, and then robot. And then go to edit mode. We have our robot. Maybe let's inset. So for the robot, I want to have this part. Maybe just make it smaller and then extrude inside. So if I want to make this smaller, I can extrude but without moving and then scaling down, or I can press I to inset the geometry. So that's one way to do it. E scale or I for inset. And then if I want to extrude it inward, let's press E, and now it's done. Let's say I want to create some buttons for the chest here. So I add a edge loop here, escape, and then maybe add 2 edge loops here. So we have 3 polygons, and with the polygon, if you want to create a button, just select all of them with Shift left click, then extrude and then scale down. Now we created one big button. But what if I want to create smaller buttons from each individual polygon? I can select one, extrude, scale down, and then move along. It was selecting the other ones, but it's not going to be super accurate, so it's better just to do them all at once. So how do we do that? Select all of them. If I inset, it's going to do it again, a whole big chunk, but if I want to do it individually, I press I again, and now it's smaller. Then press E. Now we have individual buttons, so that's good. Let's create the head. So again, we select the polygon here, head, and then Shift D, scale it on the x-axis, so SX, and then extrude. So yeah, now we have the head, but the head, I want it to be more smooth instead of having these edges here. What if we want to bevel the edges? If I want to bevel the edges, so I just select the polygon here with this one, or press 3 on the keyboard, my full keyboard here, and then press Ctrl B. Now we're beveling the edges. If I want to include more segments, I just press on the button here to expand the bevel thing that we did, and then you'll see segments. If I increase it, it's going to be either super smooth or super rough. And then collapse this and deselect. Now we have the head. And of course we did it for the face here, but we can do it also for the edges, or if I press 2, then Alt, select this, maybe bevel with Control B, and we have this bevel. Again, Control B. You can try doing it for the vertices, but if you do it, it's not going to do anything. Control B just doesn't bevel. So if you want to bevel a vertex, you press Control Shift B. Now it's beveling. I don't want to do this for our robot right now, so I just undo with Control Z. Now that we've done the bevel, let's say I want to create an eye for our robot. I can just press Shift A, Q, and then move it there, and then scale it down and stuff. But I don't wanna. I want to create it in this specific area here, and then like move it up. Let's delete X and then delete vertices. Yeah, once you enter edit mode, it's a little bit different, but delete vertices. And then if I want to have the cube spawn from this point, I don't know if you have noticed, but when you're rotating, you always see this point with the circle and the orange dot. It's always there. That's the 3D cursor. That's where the 3D objects spawn. So if I want to create the eye there, I should press Shift right click. Now I place the 3D cursor here. Press Shift A now, and then scale down. You scale up on the Z axis. Now we have the eye. Then Shift and move along the side of the X axis. This is good. Let's add an arm for our tiny robot. So if we go here, Shift right click to add the 3D cursor here, add the cube, make it smaller, and then we moved it inside the robot. But let's say I want to have some kind of a X-ray view of the robot. I want to see what's inside so I can actually tweak the geometry right. Now if you press Z, hold Z, you see there's a lot of stuff. Shade flat, make the shading of an object flat. Shade smooth, make it smooth. Rendered, it would move us to a rendered view. We don't want to do that right now. So yeah, we'll go to wireframe. That would give us that X-ray wireframe view. And now we can see the geometry inside as well. So if you press Ctrl Alt Q, you can see it all over. So Ctrl Alt Q again. We want to tweak the polygons. So we're going to 3, and then just select the icon here and then move the polygon here. Want to create just a rough arm. We're not doing like a polished model or anything. So this is our arm, for example, and then maybe we move it here and then Shift D, then move it. Maybe scale it up and then create this super rough arm. Maybe create some kind of joint between them. So, or you know what? No, let's make the joint a circle or like a sphere. A solid view again. So wireframe, solid. The Z, hold Z and then release, and then Shift right click, add a UV sphere, make it smaller, move it a little bit. Now we have our arm. Let's add an edge loop here, move it a little bit like so we have an arm here. Also, one of the things I want to tell you about is that shortcut to select more. So if I want to select more, like I have this face selected or polygon selected, I want to select more. So I can rotate this part. So if I press Ctrl plus on the numpad, you can select more and then you can just rotate this. Let's say I want to just take this part and separate it from the whole object, because like everything, like right now, everything is in this robot object. I want to remove the arm and make it its own object so I can duplicate it. One way to do it is either L, we can select everything here, L, L. Now we have everything selected for the arm, and then maybe duplicate it and then rotate it around so it would fit the right one, but no. The other way to do it is to select with L, 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 and then if I want to separate it from this object, press P. P would separate, and then you have the options. I'm going to separate by selection. And now if you go to object mode, you have robot and robot 1. So robot 1 is the arm. We can rename it to arm. And then if I want to duplicate it, I press Shift D. Now we have a duplicate, and then press Escape. Duplicate is still there. And then I scale it S, X, negative 1. Press enter. Now we have a mirrored copy of our arm. And you can see arm and arm 001. If I want to just join them again to the robot, I can select the arm, and then select the big last object, and then press Ctrl J, and now we have everything merged to the robot. You should just practice a little bit with all those shortcuts. I know it's a lot, but it's better to practice with them. And feel free to rewatch this, tweak a little bit more, see what you can do. Maybe don't create a robot, maybe something that you have around the house. Just look at it. Make a simple version with the primitives and see what you can do. Because yeah, you need to practice so you have all those shortcuts within your muscle memory and everything. And whenever I say, hey, extrude, hey, scale, you can just do it just like that.
So now that we know how to use Blender, it's time to create some models.